Hello YouTube friends, Dr. Teresa here. I'm just going to do a really short video as an update on how things are going with the seahorses and their tank. They're just finishing up some breakfast now. If you've been following some of my other videos, you might notice some things that look a little bit different. So one change I made is I swapped out a piece of coral for a larger piece that had more fingers or fringes on it, so that it was more holding spaces available for the seahorses. And I moved both pieces of coral around the feeding dish or the feeding station. I also added a little glass dish that has some depth. It's technically a candlelight or a little candle holder, but it works perfectly in this shell dish because it adds some weight to keep things stable, but it's also just the perfect height where the shrimp can be lowered into the dish, and they may move a little bit from the current, but they're really not coming out of there. And the seahorses have learned very well that this is the place they go to eat. In fact, this morning, both seahorses were sitting at the dish looking for their food until I was able to give it to them, so they know right where to go when they're looking for it. Because that I have this dish that has a little bit of height to it and the shrimp aren't floating out so easily, I'm able to keep my canister filter on high flow, which is better for the seahorses. I know a lot of people think that seahorses and fish like cowfish should be kept in fairly stagnant or slow water because they're slower swimmers, but in actuality seahorses love the exercise, so they do love current. And when I had my cowfish and I added some power heads to add current, they would actually swim into the current and surf into it, so they would just hover in one spot and let the current wash over them. So there are some myths that need to be broken for sure. I also moved my green seagrass plant. I had it coupled with the coral that used to be over here, and I did that because I really wanted the seahorses to start moving around to different parts of the tank more. I have adjusted the location of where the output of the filter flows so that if the seahorses wanted to, they can swim in the current. And you'll notice that there's starting to be some algae building up on the floor of the tank and the back of the tank. And I'm okay with that because it gives it more of a natural look. It'll get rich and it'll get to the point where I can start moving some copepods into this tank, and they might be small for these seahorses to eat. Maybe some will get big enough to act as a little snack, but they'll also help keep the tank clean. They'll eat up leftover detritus and things of that nature, so they'll be good for the aquarium. I'll have to do a video on how things are going with my copepods because I have them in a bucket in my greenhouse and they're doing very, very well. So I'll do another video on that. So I just wanted to give you an update on how things are going. Seahorses are doing very well. Water parameters are excellent. I'll do a future video on the water parameters and the steps for doing a water change, and maybe another short video of my nightly routine of how I just do a quick vacuum each night, similar to what I did when I had the dwarf seahorses. So this is it, just a really short one for today, keeping you updated. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Take care.